going to go into some of the, not all by any means, there's obviously 60, but some of the big headlines now about different products. The strong seller was inks. That was the one, if you remember, at 4.5 on average. The highest price quartile was delivering 4.5. The lowest 4.6 in the middle at 4.4, which is a bit interesting. You'd expect it to be more like a straight line, but that's the data. Now what's interesting here is, again, if you think about, remember the quartiles, I should have put them on this slide. If you remember the quartiles, the highest price was 68% above the average for that product. 68% above average. And it delivered more satisfaction. So there's a weak relationship here that says as you increase the sale price of ink, you sell more of it. Yeah? The lowest price was 50% below the average, so considerably below the average, but it only delivered you 2.5% above. So why sell low? It doesn't give you much. Yeah? 75% of respondents gave us information on inks. That tells us that 25% of that sample of customers aren't selling inks. 25%. Pardon?
Selling original inks.
They could be selling OEMs. They're not selling compatibles. Yeah, they're not selling compatibles. But from a compatible point of view, there are 25 customers out of that sample. There's a potential business opportunity that they're missing. Because they'll sell. There's good sales satisfaction to be made at very good margin. If we looked at screens, lower down the scale, obviously, you can see that satisfaction's there, and that's more like you'd expect them to be. But again, what's interesting here? Highest price, 34% above the average, and increased sales. 7% increased sales. So that issue, again, about the more you raise price, the more you sell, applies to screens. The opposite is also true. The cheaper you make your screens, the less you sell of them. Now, why might that be? Could it be to do with something with perceived quality? Yeah? Cheap screens, not reliable.
What do you mean by screen? Monitors or
replacements? Replacement laptops. Okay. Yeah.
There will also be an element there that people aren't selling that many because they don't believe that they make enough money on it. They could be underpricing themselves and not pushing that product line.
Selling it.
Or selling them because they're just thinking, what's the point, we don't make enough money on them, but not realising what the true potential actually is.
Yeah, that's valid. That's absolutely valid. But yeah, what we think is, yeah, this whole issue around quality of screens could be behind this. Cheap screens don't sell. Yeah, I don't want a cheap screen. USB and flash. Highest price was lower satisfaction. Lowest price was giving you higher satisfaction, as you can see. The highest price was 41% above average, and it led to 9% less sales. It's getting more like what you might expect, but it's still perhaps not as marked as you'd think. The lowest price was 30% under and was delivering sales at 9% above. Remember, 20% is one whole difference in sales satisfaction. So 9% is half of the scale. It's still within the satisfaction range, really. Cables. You can see again, highest price had a lower satisfaction than lowest price. What's interesting here, highest price 50% above the average, only drove 2% less sales. So not what you'd expect, or not as marked as you'd expect. Lowest price, 36% below average, and only drove 7% above. So again, not as marked as you'd expect. Opportunity, pricing on cables to go up.